It's time for the epic conclusion to Under the Red Hood. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues, and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Now, we've been doing the story of Under the Red Hood, which was Jason Todd's introduction into the DC universe as this moniker. He was murdered long ago by the Joker, and he returns in this story to prove to Batman the villains need to die. So far, he's been destroying Black Mask's entire organization and taunted Batman. But after Batman watched him murder yet another villain, Batman decided that it was time to end this. Our finale begins with Alfred opening up a package from Jason and telling Batman to get back here for it. Batman rushes to the Batmobile where, elsewhere, Black Mask is telling his men that they've failed him. He opens fire, murdering all of them before turning back to someone behind him, asking, "Happy?" And Red Hood replies with, "Getting there." As you can see, Black Mask has finally decided to stop trying to fight Red Hood. Back in the Batcave, Alfred opens up the package to find nothing more than a lock of green hair. Batman knows right away what this means. Jason Todd has his own murderer captive. He has the Joker. Back with Black Mask and Red Hood, Black Mask asks him, "What the hell do you mean getting there? I just signed a contract by wasting all of my second-in commands." Hood doesn't even uncross his arms, and I appreciate that. "I don't want your damned appreciation. I expect your obedience." "I think you may have misunderstood the terms of our agreement, Mask." "Really? You come to me wanting to end this, claiming that you are done with the whole Mad Bomber routine and wanting a seat at the table. But now my gut is telling me that you've had a change in attitude. Am I wrong?" Red Hood doesn't even move. Probably not. And Black Mask cracks a stool over his head. He pulls out a gun to shoot Hood, and that's when Red Hood leaps into the air, kicking him and grabbing the gun. They go back and forth with Red Hood throwing Black Mask out of the window into the front. "After all of your attempts to have me killed, you hide behind a mask. I'm not afraid. You're just another gangster." Black Mask looks up at him. "Look who's talking about myths and dress up." He jumps back into the building and he stomps on Red Hood's chest, and then he pins him to a pool table. Red Hood pulls out his knife and he begins to take a swipe at him, and then Mask stumbles back into a bunch of pool cues where he grabs one, breaking it over Hood, and then he stabs him in the back. All of their fighting has started a fire in the building, and Mask throws his coat aside furious. The two men lock arms, determined to end this right here and right now. And that's when Batman pulls up to the building, and he watches as Hood goes in to stab Mask, and Mask grabs his arm, flipping it around, stabbing Jason Todd in the chest. Mask goes and he removes the helmet to find out who's actually been taunting him. And when he does that, we see that Jason hasn't been here this whole time, and Batman is relieved. Not him. Mask looks up to see Batman there. "When did you get here?" A radio then goes off in the Mask. "Oh, I invited him. Tonight's just full of reunions." That's when we see Jason has his mask off and he's holding the Joker. "Didn't I kill you?" "We've been over this." "I know, but I like talking about it." Back with Batman and Mask, Mask turns to Batman. "What do you mean, not him? Do you know who this psycho is?" That's when the helmet grows hotter and hotter, and Batman yells for Mask to drop it. He kicks it away from Mask, watching it explode in the back of the building, and once that's resolved, Batman asks Mask how Hood contacted him. And Mask explains that his assistant was murdered and thrown through his window with a cell phone taped in his mouth. "He's been playing me, Batman, and I think you know exactly how that feels." Back with Jason and Joker. "Dead man walking!" Yeah, that wasn't funny the first 5 times. 2 times, boy chick! That makes 3, and comedy works best in 3s. Like Batman, Robin, and me. Let's ask the $24,000 question. You left me to live. After everything I did, you couldn't pop my balloon. You just couldn't! The apple doesn't fall far from the paterfamilias. You're just like Daddykins. That was enough for Jason as he jumped in, kicking Joker across the face, and then he threw a knife, pinning him to the wall. The only thing everyone in the room could hear was the laughter as Jason pulled out the knife. Jason leaned into the Joker's face. "I know a secret about you. You're not nearly as crazy as you'd like us all to believe, or even as crazy as you'd like to believe. It just makes it easier to justify all of the sick things that you've done." The Joker looks away without a smile on his face. "Look at that! I wiped the smile off the Joker's face! I've been waiting a long time for that." Back with Batman and Mask, he takes the clues and he leaves Mask there surrounded by mini explosives, telling him to stay put. Mask simply tells him, "Oh yeah, because I'm known for my patience." Batman goes to Crime Alley where Jason walks out telling him, "This only seemed fitting. The place of your birth, the place of our first meeting, and now, where this ends." Batman looks at him. "Where is he?" And Jason tells him, "I have him in the other building, but don't try ditching me and finding him. I rigged that building to explode. Now that would be fitting, payback-wise. I'm not going to let you kill him. You can try and stop me." And they both prep to fight. And that's when a plane above Bloodhaven drops the living bomb onto the city. Batman is forced to watch as what appears to be a nuclear explosion goes off in Bloodhaven. He calls out, "Dick!" And Jason confirms it. My God, is that where Nightwing is? Imagine that. One son returns from the grave as another enters it. What a fitting ending this has become. If he's there, you're too late, Bruce. Again. Batman leaps over in the direction of Bloodhaven, but an explosion goes off at his feet. "Jason, please!" "What? You have to be sure? Getting out of that alive would be one hell of a neat trick. If old Dickie is there, he's dead. And if you leave, someone else dies tonight." Batman leaps in, throwing 2 batarangs that graze Jason's neck. But Jason counters by throwing a sticky to Batman's cape, and then the other end is attached to a rocket that launches him into the sky. Batman grips the edge of the roof, trying to keep himself there, and the Joker watches the explosions as he comments, "This is getting good." Jason jumps on Batman as he begins to swipe away with his knife as he holds Batman's head back. Batman realizes that Jason isn't playing anymore. He's going for kill shots. He has to respond properly. And he throws an explosive onto Jason's coat, burning up all of his tools. "Now let's see how you do without your toys." He throws himself into a window and Batman follows suit, telling him, "You say that you want to save Gotham, to kill it part of it so that it can survive. You say that you want to be better than me, but it won't happen." All the while, he's beating on Jason, throwing him around, and as he stands over the defeated Jason Todd. "I know I failed you, but I tried to save you, Jason. I'm trying to save you now." And Jason points a gun at Batman's face. "Is that what you think this is about? You letting me die? I don't know what clouds your judgment worse, your guilt or your antiquated sense of morality. Bruce, I forgive you for not saving me." Batman looks on saddened by the thought. And Jason gets up, opening the door that holds the Joker. "But why in God's name is he still alive?" And in the room, the Joker laughs. "Woohoo! Woohoo! We got ourselves a party!" Jason walks in, punching Joker in the chin, knocking him over into the explosives, and he shoves the gun into his face, ignoring what he has done in the past, the friends that he crippled. I thought killing me, I would be the last person that you would ever let him hurt. If it had been you that was left in a bloody mess in that room, I would have done nothing but search the planet for this pathetic pile of evil, this death-worshipping garbage, and I would have sent him off to hell. You don't understand. You've never understood. What? Your moral code? It's too hard to cross that line? I want him dead, maybe more than anything I've ever wanted before, but if I do, if I allow myself to go down that path, I'll never come back. Why? Why what? Why do all of the Cub Scouts in spandex always say that? If I cross the line, there's no coming back. I'm not talking about killing Cobblepot or Scarecrow. I'm talking about him. Just him. Doing it because he took me away from you. Well, you don't have a choice, Jason tells him, throwing him a gun. You either kill him or I will. And if you want to stop me, you'll have to kill me. Me or him. Decide. Put the gun down, Jason. 1. Don't. 2. No! 3. And in that moment, Batman threw a batarang into Jason's neck. And as the blood spilled onto the ground, Jason hit the dirt. The Joker laughed at it all. After all of that, you found a way to win. And yet, everyone loses. Don't you just love how this is ending? Joker then grabs the gun, shooting the explosives next to him. And the entire building goes up in smoke and fire. You see, fate is a funny thing. It swells up like raging waters that we are forced to travel. It provides no exit, no deviation. It drops us in a bottomless ocean and compels us. We either swim or drown. And sometimes, as we struggle against the tide, a great truth arises. And that concludes Under the Red Hood. As much as we would love to have a more conclusive ending, this was more of just a way to bring back an enemy for Batman that had a past with him and the Joker. A way to wrap him up into the mythos and bring back the infamously dead Jason Todd. But there are a few loose ends. For those wondering about the bomb in Bloodhaven, it's actually linked to Infinite Crisis, and the Red Hood didn't do it, though it did have some convenient timing. Nightwing wasn't killed because he was out of the city at the time of the event, and he returned to help deal with the fallout. Joker lived, obviously, and he went on to commit more heinous actions. And Batman obviously lived and continued his journey. And the Red Hood? Well, he slowly broke down and tried to take over the mantle of Batman again in Battle for the Cowl. He then showed up a few more times until eventually trying to prove his worth in Batman Inc. But with the New 52, he's more of an anti-hero trying to work with Batman again, and as of right now in DC Rebirth, he's working with Bizarro and Artemis as the Dark Trinity. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Under the Red Hood entire series, and I will see you next time right here at Comicstorian.